I can announce the fan favorite now too.
Look, something just popped up on my screen. Hey everyone, message your vote for fan favorite for the mini to Benjamin Stone, and I wonder who it's from. 13 hours ago with a flame.
At least you didn't get the one that said vote Frank on it too.
Oh, I already got it in post. I got a shirt that says vote Frank.
well, second place was Denny, actually.
Hey.
Many people got several votes. Like it was close. But first place was Frank. Frank got edged it out yet again.
He did his homework.
Frank.
Yay!
You guys did that. People probably did that on purpose to put a target on my back for the next game.
You don't think you already have one?
True. But yeah, so congratulations, Frank, the winner of the game and the fan favorite.
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep. I'll start with Logan. I have a question for you. Are you okay with hitting the double tribal on you?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
I think it needed to have. The game was moving so fast, or we're moving so slow, honestly. Like it was taking longer than I expected.
Yeah, you and I were talking, and we were talking about how long it was taking. It was already at, I think, like 6 hours or something. And I was like, dude, just do a double tribal, just right now. Bam,
so
drop
you're the one. So
Logan got Corey out.
I am the one.
From the dead. Take out Corey. But I was thinking, I had 4 tribe challenges planned, but then the new schoolers lost 3 in a row, and after the 4th tribe challenge, I was going to have a double tribal, but I had to improvise because I'm like, if it's 6-2, that wouldn't be a very fun move. So,
no, that would not have been good.
Yeah. But no, all right, cool. And then Amber's not here, so we'll move on to Karen. All right, Karen. Name a player besides Kook you were impressed with.
I have to say Ryan.
That's surprising.
It is. I guess you're smarter than I expected.
Ryan played great in my opinion.
Yeah. Like it actually kind of concerned me at one point. I was like, because I felt like we were like on equal levels, and then you did a few things where I'm like, oh no, he's smarter than me. Like this could be a problem.
Well, Ryan played me out the gate, so.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Me, Logan.
No, Logan, I actually really liked you. I got a great vibe from you. I just knew Amber was going to play that idol.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
no, that's what I'm saying. That was a great play, though.
Yeah, that was
an
insane vote. That was.
In hindsight, I should have just let Pook go. I mean, what was I thinking? I knew she'd vote Pook. I should have just let it happen.
And that's the thing. I actually picked Pook and Amber because I was like, well, you know, that'll be some conflict that we can like choose somebody else. Logan, you were not on the radar for anybody in our tribe to go home. Like, not at all.
I got a great vibe from Logan.
Amber read that she should use the idol, and Ryan read that Amber was going to use the idol. It was a vote to just start off the game.
If there was no pre-gaming, I probably wouldn't have voted Logan. The problem is I had like a huge pre-game plan, and I just didn't talk to you, and I was just like, I gotta go.
It's okay. I didn't talk to anybody. So.
I actually tried reaching out to you. Now I remember. I did message you.
Yeah, I think I talked to you like the day before the game or something.
Yeah, and you
then
didn't answer.
I forgot to get back on. Yeah.
All right. My next question, I believe, is for Corey now. What was you and Frank seem to have some like really serious like I just can't trust you anymore, and some very you guys had developed a bit of a rivalry or a back and forth throughout the game too. Just tell me a little bit more about that. Was that real or wasn't real at the time, or?
Here's the thing. In the heat of the moment, it's like you actually convince yourself at a certain point. It's like, I need to, go after so-and-so really hard. At least that's the way I felt. So it's nothing like, it was nothing that Frank did before the game or it was just, as soon as he gave me an option of going after him super hard when he asked me to leave the room, I was like, okay, well, this is going to be something where I'm like, I'm going to go after him hardcore, because I could see he was leading the other tribe. So I'm hoping that by being emotionally invested in going after Frank, I can not only try to keep Ryan and Mikey from turning on me, but also I wanted the other tribe to maybe consider getting rid of him, because of if he gets to that's why I said, if he gets to the end, he deserves to win the game, So it was fun though at a certain point. I even told him that. I was like, Frank, this is nothing personal, man. This is kind of just, backs up against the wall, you know what I mean?
What you guys don't know, that was actually all planned. It's a pregame by Corey for the rival season that we'll probably have to work together. That was your expected.
That's what we got to do. There you go.
Frank and Corey are thinking like 7 steps ahead.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, what I saw was that Frank was the one who would never work with me. That's what I got. When he told me to leave the room, the writing was on the wall with that. So, sorry, Frank.
That was probably one of my favorite moments watching myself, is when I was just like, can you leave the room? Can you leave the room? And people did it. I was so shocked. I'm sure Ryan would have told me to screw off, but it worked on Corey.
It did work. It did. It was fun though.
All right. Next up, I have Denny. You had some good pre-gaming relationships with the other tribe. Would you have flipped earlier, or were you thinking about it? Like, let's say when Corey was voted out, or even before that. What was your thought process? What were you thinking?
So the only people I had talked to on the other tribe were Karen and Mikey. And like I said in my confessional, Karen didn't give me too much. So I figured she had something going on the other side. I had something going on my side. If it had been Karen and Mikey who went forward together, then yeah, there's a huge possibility I flip at that point, because I knew that Frank was gonna win if he made it to the end. Like, I knew that from before the game even started. I knew that. So yeah, but those two would have needed to be there together.
Gotcha.
Karen.
Those are the two people that you pre-gamed with.
Yeah, and it was hard too, because I didn't get a chance to talk to Cody at all. If we would have been able to connect like in the breakout rooms or something, then yeah, I think we could have made something happen.
To interject, I actually thought that you and Cody were tighter than you actually are, right? Like,
my biggest fear. That was my biggest fear.
I thought that, you and Cody were so tight that me and Frank were tight, but you guys were tighter than you. And looking back, like, you guys weren't as tight.
I'm just finding out now that you guys weren't that tight.
Yeah. No, I was kind of like looking back at it, but anyway, that was a misread on my part.
Her working with Pook was my favorite thing to see from her, because I had no clue, not one clue. I knew she was talking to Karen. We were in a group chat, like, all picking somebody to go talk to. Of course, Stan was the guy that I picked with Youngblood, but yeah, I did not see her working with Pook, and that really, I was impressed.
I wasn't in his file.
No.
Yeah, let's jump to that, Frank. What were details of the finalists in your files? I'm kind of curious.
The files, they were mainly, so I had little logos from our chat groups to mark which alliances people thought they were in. And then I had the first conversation, like the beginning conversations, the origin stories of our working together. That way, if I forgot, I could go back and be like, oh, on this date, this is when that started. This is when we started talking. It was mainly to give myself a timeline. And then when I printed them all out and had them for the game, that's when I was kind of taking notes as the game went on in the event that I did make it to the end. And then I'd have some notes to work off of.
Yeah.
I thought that was a fun touch to reveal in the finale. It just,
Yeah.
I think it built into your character as someone who just played the game hard and pre-gamed hard.
Yeah, I knew I only had one chance before the community knew that I was a psychopath. So not even Dr. Stan knew about the files.
I did not.
Well, the thing is, I knew Frank was pre-gaming because he messaged me before the game, right? And I even said this during the game as a means to try and get people to turn on him. And he messages me, and I said, you know, at this point, I don't know if I'm going to be pre-gaming with anyone else. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I wish we didn't even know the entire cast. He's like, that way no one could pre-game. He's like, pre-game is not my style. And I was like.
And he texted me right after. He's like, I told Corey this. And I'm like, saw right through that, I'm sure.
I
don't even know the guy, but you saw right through that. Remember,
I saw
Frank?
right through it, though.
I'm like, he ain't dumb.
That's why I was fine when you were telling everybody about that. I was kicked up, legs up on the couch, because I knew it wasn't going to make them panic, because they all knew, the people that I wanted to trust me knew that I had that conversation with you. That's what I was very careful about, is not saying something without relaying it to the team, because like Russell said, if you control how they feel, you can control how they think. So making them feel safe was like key. And I don't think you got that message until like just a couple days before the game, right?
Oh, that was like 24 hours before the game. It was like.
Yeah, we had already hung out, me and Frank. Had like
yeah,
an
and
night together.
Corey, I had your messenger up for a few days. I kept having to tell myself, like, slow down, don't do it too soon, wait. It was even strategic when I was reaching out to people.
Right. Wow.
All right.
Learning stuff as we go.
Yeah.
Again, I should be shutting my mouth because I got another game coming up. So.
Yeah, the more Frank talks, the more he is a psychopath.
My next question is for Cody. All the finalists seem worried about bringing you to the end. I heard that as much. But who would be your choice of people to bring to the end if you could?
If I had made it to the end, I definitely would have tried to stick with my plan. So my plan was when Corey got voted out, before the whole double tribal twist came around, I wanted Pook to go home first because I didn't trust Pook and Corey together. Mostly Pook. I love him. I think he's a great guy, but he's too wishy-washy for me. So I wanted Pook to go home before I felt comfortable bringing Corey in. At that point, I wanted to bring Corey and Denny in and Bryce, but I don't know if Bryce and Stan had already formed their alliance by then. So so that wouldn't have worked anyway. But we at least would have had maybe a three-way tie. I don't know, or a two-way tie, but
that would have been difficult to choose as a
Pretty much.
Even still, Cody. Even still at the end, Cody. Ben was just saying like all the finalists didn't want to take you to the end. I was trying to tell Stan we needed to take you to the end and not Frank.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Stan pushed for Frank super hard, and I wasn't pushing for you super hard, but I was saying in our little talk, because Stan and I went out in our little room separately. I'm like, I think we're bringing Cody, right? And he's like, no, we need to bring Frank. I'm like,
his final three was you, Bryce, and me, but Denny was still in the game. And the only reason that I didn't go for that, because at 4, Denny and Cody would have forced the tie against me. But then Frank won immunity at 5.
This conversation was after Denny was out.
Oh, is it after?
Yeah, this was
I
at
can't
Final
remember.
Four. This was right
Oh,
after
yeah,
Frank
yeah.
was like. This was right after Frank made his big speech to get me out, and then me and you went in the other
We
room.
didn't go. We didn't go to another room for.
Yeah, we did right
Final
then.
Four.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Yeah, because I started. Yeah, that tribal.
But yeah,
said,
I agree. I don't
yeah.
remember details, but definitely Bryce's final three was Yumi and Cody, Yumi and Bryce. But
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I think that ultimately, if everything that I worked on, I think my biggest flaw in the game was not reaching out to make connections with Bryce and Justice earlier in the game, because I was just I had tunnel vision on Four Loko, and I was working that up until right before Pook got voted out, and that's when I was starting to be like, okay, things need to change up, or else Frank's just going to walk this to the end and like walk right out the door with the win. So once Pook went out, I was ready to work with Corey. That didn't happen due to the double tribal problem. So the way that it played out in my mind was that it would have been Denny and
I fucked you guys over so much.
The way it played out in my mind, it would have been Denny and I, and then between Corey and Bryce, I guess just however it worked out with whoever we felt was the best one to bring with us.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing, is when we went to that double tribal, before I went into the voting booth, I made it very clear. My vote is going on Frank, because I figured if I could vocally let everyone know who I was voting for, I could maybe get others to just even privately in the voting booth change to Frank. But
yeah, and in that case, I had even considered it at that point, but I knew that since I hadn't talked to Denny or anything, I probably would have been the only one switching. So at that point, I would have been completely exposed. At that point,
it was the same exact thing for me.
Yeah.
We didn't get a chance to talk. I would have tried to convince Stan. I wanted Frank out.
I didn't get a chance to talk.
Bryce, you had the idol, so you could have openly talked with Denny and Cody, even with Frank and Stan in the room. You could have talked and said, "I have the idol. There's nothing they can do to stop us."
Yeah, I know about a huge.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. I could have done that. What was going through my mind a lot, because the idol was so easy to find, I didn't want it to get rehidden. That was going through my mind most of the time. I made sure that when I used the idol, it wasn't getting rehidden. That was the biggest part of my strategy of when I used it. I didn't want to use it too early. Yeah. But you are right. I definitely could have. I definitely could have like at least revealed it and tried to like threaten it more, because only Stan knew about it the whole time until I used it.
I knew you had it though.
Well, only Stan knew for sure, I guess.
Yeah. Gotcha. But I just knew.
Yeah.
All right. The last two questions I have are.
I was in that breakout room. I was in that breakout room when Bryce told Stan. That was so funny. Both of them were just like jumping up and down, like yes.
That's what you're supposed to do, actually. Like in a quick mini, I was aggressive with Bryce. That was my move, because I wanted to be aggressive, because I wanted to be the first person to catch him. And I knew that if I like, same with Frank, I wanted to be the first person to catch him. And then so when I knew Bryce, I'm like, yeah, let's go, baby. Oh! Like, I don't really do that. That's not my style. But
let me ask you guys, the old school tribe, did all 6 of you stay in the same room with each other the entire time while we were going to tribal and everything?
Yeah.
You never broke off in the break-off rooms?
Wow. No, there was a lot of peer pressure to not do that. I
He's
think
employing some Boston Rob tactics. We had the whole buddy system going on.
And it's funny because like I even told Frank, like he's like, oh, why don't we just pair off? I'm like, okay, Boston Rob, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Four Loko was okay with wanting everyone to stay in the same room, and so we just kind of peer pressured the others.
Yeah, I cut a lot of that out. There's like a good amount of time you guys are just talking in there. I'm like,
we were just chilling.
The first half of the game, we were just like chilling. There wasn't really a lot going on until post merge.
Yeah.
So I just kept like the first 40 seconds of you guys going, yeah, we won again.
Yeah.
That was a nice touch. That was a nice touch with the music, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I think that's why we were such a hot mess at that first tribal at the merge, because that was most of our, except for Stan, that was our first tribal council ever. And before that, we were just talking like favorite survivors. So then we're put into this game that was super scary going against 3 of the most iconic players in our group.
Yeah.
In my opinion, yeah.
It was
Corey,
just
you're one of the top 100 lists, right?
I might be. I don't know.
Like, you know the game inside and out. Ryan has a cult following from being a host, and Pook is Pook.
Yeah.
I think a big downfall of that tribal also is we talked so much about the strategy of trying to get them to think it was going to be us voting for you, Frank. But the problem was that I was supposed to be the only one saying it, except because of how the rooms broke out, everybody's like, oh gosh, I wonder if I need to say it. So everybody started saying it, and that just made it so obvious. Like,
honestly though, Bryce,
watching it back, I was like, oh, Stan, like everybody's saying it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is. Yeah. I can see how obvious it was.
Honestly though, Bryce, like after Stan said it to me, obviously then I know for sure. I'm like, you guys said the exact same words, so I'm like, okay,
yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah. But I was supposed to be the only one to say it, but yeah.
But after I talked to you first, Bryce, like you left the room and it was just Denise in there, and I was like, Denise, he just lied every word he just said. So like,
oh really?
Even beforehand, I was gonna tell him the same thing, even if I didn't talk to Stan. That just kind of confirmed it.
3 of us got together. The 3 of us, Mikey, Ryan, and myself, and all 6 of you were in the other room. And we were in the room, and we were all like, "They're scripted. They're all saying the exact same thing." So we knew what was up.
Yeah.
I didn't expect the idol. I thought you guys. I didn't expect that idol to come.
The funny thing was, I was actually using truth to sort of try and like build credibility with you guys by letting you know what actually happened in our stuff. But you guys didn't believe me. You thought I was lying, Frank. You kept saying through the game, Corey lied to me.
The funny thing is, I thought Ryan was telling the truth, and I was actually trying to invest some truth. So like some, like trust in Ryan. And like I actually came back to my alliance. I'm like, yo, Ryan said this, and like that, and they're like, Ryan's lying to you. I'm like, what?
I think
and then Ryan was my, I thought like, if there's one person I could trust in the other tribe to make a move down the line, it'd probably be Ryan. But when my tribe told me he lied to me, that was it.
Yeah, you could have told me the sky was blue and I would have called you a liar.
The thing was, the 3 of us were working. We were not going to break. But if I could at least maybe even convince you guys, oh, this is a fractured group, I thought maybe somebody would be willing to make a move with us. Because, a tight 3 is more intimidating than if, there's a crack that we might be able to exploit later in the game. You know what I mean?
And if you had maybe talked to me.
Yeah, I know.
It might have happened, but
don't even get me started on that.
Well, me and Corey talked about, what Denny said. Like, Denny said if we had Karen and Pook, like that for the vote right before merge was just like, me and Corey are in hindsight talking like, why didn't we go after each other?
That is
more importantly, like, why didn't Karen and Pook go after us? I guess
that's the biggest vote of the whole season. And the reason is because Ryan and I were the 2 that brought the least to our alliance. Pook had advantages. Karen had connections. Those were things you can use in the pre-merge or in the post-merge. Ryan and I brought nothing. We brought nothing to the alliance except, I don't know, I'm just a number. So we should have been going after each other, and yet he and I were the 2 making the decision. It's the most stupid thing.
Yeah, well, that's what's tough about this game. You have like 30 seconds to make your mind up on what you want to do, because then you gotta find a room and get the other people on the same page. So you can't like think about what you want to do for hours.
No,
right?
Not at all.
You got to make your decision quick, and like that was the thing. First thing I thought of was like, I don't think Corey will blindside me after the merge. I thought Karen might. I think I was wrong about that, but either way, I was like, so I picked to go Karen, but I'm like afterwards, I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't I just take Corey out?
Yeah, it's surprising we didn't think about it.
Same.
It's surprising because, it didn't show it in the episode, but I actually, when we tied the vote, I voted with Karen, and when we tied, I asked Ben for permission to talk to Ryan one-on-one in a breakout room before we do the revote. And I sort of put him on the spot and was like, what do you want to do? I'll go with you on whichever. I should have done the exact I should have done that with Mikey. I should have voted with Karen against Ryan and pulled Mikey into the room and said, look, you either vote out Ryan and go into the merge with me and Karen, or let's draw rocks. Let's tie it again and draw. I should have forced his hand, but.
What I thought was crazy was Pook's opportunity in the apple game before the merge. If he would have just kept his apples and screwed you guys over, he would have had 2 votes and an immunity. He could have sold Ryan upstream in that first vote, and then he would have I think he would have been able to turn some of the bottom people from the alliance with all that power he had with the advantages.
Yeah.
Oh, and that was another thing, was having to reveal before we even vote that we're going to use the advantage, because
That's crazy.
we were really hoping that we could like
be muted. God.
we were hoping to backdoor you guys with the extra vote by not having to use the idol. Like save
They
the
probably
idol.
would. They would have done it too, though. I think they would have done it too.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Bryce, you
I'd have been screaming at Bryce to use that advantage, because I just didn't want that advantage in the game anymore. I knew it was crazy for us to have him get that advantage in the Apple game, but I was like, first chance during the merge, we got to get him to burn that thing so he can't burn me with it later on in the game when I might have the numbers locked.
He was even trying to get me to give it to him or give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, I just got announced. You should transfer it to somebody." I'm like, "Oh, that's a really good idea. Let's change the subject."
Ryan tried to do the exact same thing with Mikey in the pre-merge. He had Karen and myself in a breakout room. He's like, "Do you think that Mikey will give us his idol and his extra vote?"
He wouldn't, but I was hoping. He would never.
Oh yeah,
I'm honestly crazy. For how everybody here knows Pook's the most paranoid player in any org history, probably. So I like. Getting him to not play that idol at 4 was the hardest thing ever. I don't even know what was shown, but he's like there's only 4. He asked me 30 times. He's like, "Are you sure I don't have to play this idol?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm telling you, I need it." I literally said I need it. I wasn't hiding it. I was like, "I need that idol. Like, save it."
If we would have went into the merge with Mikey and Karen both in the game, Denny, she even admitted you would have came on board then because you had 2 people. Right?
Yeah.
Like you had connected with it on some level. So that's the biggest vote of the entire game.
Yeah, the problem was that like the vote right before that, I voted for Mikey, and he knew that.
That was
because he's like, "Who voted for me?" And I was like, "Well, I did because Corey told me to."
Yeah, that was a whole cluster. All right, because what happened was in the pre-gaming, we actually had between 3 of us, Karen, Ryan, and myself, we had like signals of who to vote for. So I threw out the Mikey vote signal because he was giving me some weird vibes about the idol, whether he found it or not. So I threw out the Mikey signal, and Ryan said to me, "You know, guys," or he said to all of us, he's like, "You know, Mikey's being really sketchy right now." So I thought to myself, I'm like, "Oh, okay, message received. You guys are going to vote for Mikey." So I put a vote on Amber just to be safe in case Mikey did find the idol and played it. Little did I know, Ryan must have been thinking the exact same thing because he voted for Amber too, and Amber went home, and Karen was left being the only one who voted for Mikey.
Yeah, I think I just wanted Amber out there, but I didn't do like a vote for
that's cruel.
But the thing, go ahead, Karen.
But that's why I didn't even like really. Maybe I should have tried anyway, but it didn't really occur to me to try to team up with Mikey because I thought there was no way he would trust me after I just voted for him. And we have our history from the other game too. So,
you know,
right.
Ryan, I gave you the benefit of the doubt there. I sort of assumed that you were thinking the exact same thing I was, but in actuality, you kept Mikey in intentionally. And that was the thing I thought you... That's it.
Here's the thing. I'm sorry. I think I missed your signal. I missed the sign down at third base.
You did not.
And I came up with the signs and I missed it.
You did not miss it because I gave the signal.
I think I did.
You didn't because I gave the signal, and the very next words you're like, "Guys, I think Mikey's being really sketchy right now."
I don't know. Maybe I did see it. Maybe I don't remember. I could have saw it. I don't remember. But well, that's the advantage. Also, I think that went in the 30-second decision to go at Karen. Like, even like if you went at me, like bringing Karen and Pook, because you know they're rivals. So it's like I mean, obviously you'll be on the top of that final 2 if it was that, but like you know, they could easily backstab each other at the merge. It's a little risky.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah, a lot of what happened in the post merge was a direct result of what happened in our tribals. It's really insane.
These suck at challenges.
All right, I have a question for Ryan, Bryce, and Stan. I'll start with Ryan. Your vote out was controversial. You can talk about that if you want. It was my fault. I fucked it up. But also you could also talk about the difference between hosting and playing, because I'm kind of interested in that now, playing in this next long game. Whatever you want to talk about. The floor is yours.
All right. Hold on, Mike. My vote out. Yeah. I'm still to this day confused on what happened, but at this point, it's all just like a what ifs. You know, who knows what would have happened? Everybody can say they would have done this, but I'm not gonna take anything away from Frank and Stan and Bryce for getting the end. So it happened. It is what it is. And then the hosting thing. I mean, obviously the difference is when you're hosting and when you're playing. But I think the bigger difference is just like the mini versus like what I do is the long term stuff, right? So, man, I just touched on that a little bit. That's more the like if I was hosting both, it's obviously, you know, it's tough for you to get the time management on one night with like everything, challenges and, you know, tribals and people trying to take advantage of time because they need to do stuff. So, you know, it's tough to get everything in on the time you expected. But yeah, long term games, like, like even like Frank, you know, I'm really, he's playing the next game. I'm excited to see, because obviously he played well in this, but most of it was pre-game because everything went right for him, right? And he had a great pre-game, and then everything kind of went, you know, you can pre-game all you want long term. So I'm excited to see how him and other people do when, you know, pre-game doesn't really matter that much in this game.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. Yeah, because you're right. They're very, very different games. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting. And yeah, seeing how good Frank will be. It's a great cast from top to bottom. I'm kind of scared.
Most of the people in here are playing.
It's true. Yeah, quite a few people in here.
They should be doing their homework. If they don't do their homework, they're idiots. You got
Well, hopefully the specialists have all set their profiles to private, so you guys can't build files on them. And specialists, if you're watching, every time Corey uses his hands, he's communicating with someone. We know that now. So
there you go.
He's already playing. He's like Russell Hands in Samoa, already playing for Heroes Villains.
Oh, Corey's alliance is like, all right, wait, Corey blinked 4 times.
Wait a minute,
so...
Frank. You're talking to your specialists, it's sort of like, so you're not anticipating being at the merge whenever we merge? You're not going to be there to tell them yourself?
No, I'm not anticipating. No, I feel like when you win the previous game and get fan favorite, and you do that all with such a loyal, charismatic game, it's going to be hard to return. Hopefully they just see my value in knowing that I know all the dirt on all you guys. And if they vote me out first and I give them all that information and they still use it to come at you, that's going to be entertaining, so I'm fine.
Well, just don't give them all the information up front, man. You got to space it out. Like, keep yourself valuable.
I was going to say, that'll help you.
Yeah.
More to withhold it.
You know, Pook would, if I withhold it, Pook's going to be the one that gets help.
Oh, no.
Pook will spill his guts like day one. He'll be like, here's everything.
All right. My next question. Let's go with Bryce and then Stan. I know we talked about it in the poll before, Bryce, but pre-gaming. I know you were second alternate, and that's hard to be like, oh, if I'm second alternate, do I need to pre-game with all these people? But I like the idea that we're talking about a blind game next time, if that's possible, and because in these minis, then all the interactions would be fresh.
Exactly.
So I don't know. Just give me a little bit of your thoughts on that, and yeah.
I mean, I think I've said a lot of my thoughts when it comes to pre-gaming. I don't think it should be a thing. It was a thing in this, and I don't blame anybody for pre-gaming at all since it was a thing. I just don't think it should be like moving forward. I think it is a bad like aspect of the game. I think just because of the viewership, I think it's a lot it's a lot less fun to watch when you feel like you missed season 1 and season 2 of the pre-gaming, and then all of a sudden you're just watching the mini. It's like everybody's already friends, everybody already knows each other, everybody's already in alliances. All right, now you're watching. It's
The
like
introductions are kind of a show because
exactly. Like I missed the first 2 seasons of the show almost. It felt like, but I mean, I still understood everything obviously, and when it came to the game, like luckily we didn't go to the tribal. Obviously, the first 3 challenges or whatever, it sounded like I was in danger or whatever. But I feel like just until I think the biggest mistake and the biggest effect that the pre-gaming had on me definitely happened at Final 4 when I couldn't get Stan to vote Frank out. Like if I feel like, I mean, I obviously, it's a big what if, what is, like, who wins if it's me, Stan, and Cody at the end, but we'll obviously never know. But I feel like if there was a little bit less pre-gaming, if there was a little bit less Stan and Frank hanging out before the game, I don't know, maybe. You never know. There's a lot of what ifs.
It's a fair argument, and most of Survivor were blind cats from random people across the country.
Yep.
So that's fair. Stan,
I know my question. You don't even have to ask.
Okay, answer it then.
So the decision that pretty much changed the game was at the Final 4. And could I have won? Everybody messaged me and decided you played an amazing game, blah, blah, blah. In and out, social, whatever. And, but the only mistake that you did was you took Frank to the end. And honestly, I have zero regrets for how I played the game. Hindsight is 20/20, and if we all, first of all, I love Frank, and if there's one thing I got away from this game is a really good friendship with someone I probably never would have met in my life again. And this is probably my 20th, maybe lifetime game, and I know how to win the game. One mistake I didn't do is I misread the jury. Right? I misread the jury that they would respect such an aggressive, game. But given that everyone's paying money to be a patron in the Russell Hantz show, who is the most aggressive player in Survivor history, people that pay money do respect an aggressive gameplay. My game is very, Suri almost, like Wendell, yo, let's kind of do the thing. And absolutely, I think I would have won a game if it's a Sandra patron or a different patron group where there's a different. I don't think there's anything wrong with my game. I think I was a loyal motherfucker. I stick to my guns. I thought I could beat Frank if I had a jury speech, but and I don't regret anything. I think I could have had a chance against Cody and Bryce in the Final 4. Nothing to take away from Frank. Frank played an amazing game. What was I gonna say about, we were talking about it. It was I think a couple of people, it was like heroes, villains reversed, right? In which Bryce was a Sandra who's kind of outside. Me and Frank were Parvati and Russell. Frank was Russell. I was Parv, kind of just in the middle. But then because it's a Russell Hantz patron group, people gravitated towards the Russell Hantz style aggressive gameplay, and I was in the middle. And Sandra got 0 votes, and it could be completely different. Same thing, Dom and Wendell. I'm a Wendell fan. Sorry, Danny. Love Dom, but Frank was the Dom, and in 80% of the seasons out there, you make the jury vote again, Dom probably would win against Wendell. Absolutely no regrets. I love meeting every single person, but lesson learned in the future. Hey, if I do this again and it means more than, a Russell Hantz patron title, which I don't know if I really would put a poster like Frank would in his house and say I won.
I already have a cutout of my.
He already does. I don't even. Honestly, if there's any consolation about taking second, it made Frank so happy. It made his life almost
I love it.
So happy. And for me, I'd be like, oh yeah, cool, I won. Next, I'll brag to my friends, I won in Oregon. I'll move on with my life the next day. And I have no regrets. I would have loved to, see Shake It. I wanted a little more shake up. I wanted more, I wanted to play with Corey. I want to play with Ryan. I probably wouldn't have played with Poop because he was so good. He was so good. I couldn't read him, but I wanted like to shake things more up, like than just going all the way to the with your final four, the Rudy, Rich, Kelly Wigglesworth, and Sue Hawk alliance. You know, like, but that didn't happen. We played our cards the way we wanted to. Frank played an incredible game. I would not have done, even if you made me do the game again, I would never have done anything close to what he would do. Probably would have voted him out at 4 if I had to do it again. But
I remember you saying at 4, he's not gonna get any votes at the end. Everybody, he pissed everybody off.
I was banking on
like,
jury bitterness. I was banking on jury bitterness. I was banking on people. I needing a final tribal council to explain my game. And I didn't read the jury.
Yeah,
That's
and it was
my
just
fault.
it was such a long night, and you said it all. I'm like, you really think so? And I should have pushed you harder,
were
but
the
I'm
one.
like,
You were the one who was saying Frank's gonna get 0 votes, and I'm like, okay, yeah, Frank's gonna get 0
oh,
votes.
whoa! I didn't say that. You said that.
Oh, really? I said it for sure.
No, yeah, you definitely said it.
I for sure said
I didn't push you hard enough. You said Frank's gonna get 0 votes. I'm like,
I misread
not,
that this
but
was
okay.
a Russell podcast.
I was like, okay.
Russell would get 0 votes if you like just stab the jury front.
I was like, we're like 8 hours in at this point. Sure, yeah. Frank will get 0 votes. Let's go with it.
And you That's kind of how I felt at the end too, because like when Stan and I were talking and we were having our exchange when I was trying to plead my case for him to take me to the final 3. I think I probably would have been a little more aggressive if it wasn't 4:30 in the morning and I was just like, whatever. Like,
yeah, exactly. That was
in hindsight, I was scared of taking Cody to the end because Denny would have voted for Cody. Cody would have gotten a lot of votes. I didn't think that I probably would have gotten Frank's vote if I explained it properly. And that would have evened out Denny and Frank. And then the rest of actually the other side, Corey, Pook, and Ryan would have respected my game over Cody's and Bryce's, and I probably would have gotten a couple more votes, and Amber and Karen would have voted for me like they would have anyway. But you know, honestly, I thought about it for like maybe 10 minutes of my life. I didn't put much. I haven't watched a single episode because I don't like watching myself on TV or on video. So
you're a star, Stan.
I haven't watched, but I know what happens. I love you all, and it's been an amazing experience. Nothing but love, fun. Corey. I love you, even though we disagree.
Oh, absolutely.
I love you. No.
Absolutely.
I've played way too many. I've played way too many of these games that I've had friends had absolute mental. Grown men have absolute mental breakdowns off a botched pregame in the woods of Tennessee. Like it's terrible. But it's so and in a cast in a group that's 140 people, and you're gonna see people over and over again as the number of games. It's gonna get old. It's gonna be, oh God, Danny's in again. Oh my God, Bryce is there. Here we go again. Oh no, Frank's here. Oh no, here we go. Like game 7, that's what it's gonna feel like. And honestly, game 1, it's like all fresh. Oh my God, there's this huge pregame line. It's great. I'm in a pregame. The other times pregame, boom. But like game 7, from experience, I'm like, oh God. You see the class, like, oh God, here we go again. Oh my God, they're gonna think I'm working with Frank again. Ugh.
Like, so my take on all that.
Oh, so it's not entirely like that.
Right. Game two, first of all, I again disagree respectfully that the cast was released a month prior for Specialists and TRHS, because that's going to be the same song and dance. And I'm so glad when the cast got released. I'm not playing. I thought about it for like a quick second, and I'm like, eh. But then, like, and then game 3 is going to be the same. Frank Goodpaster comes back in, and you're like, hey guys, it's me. I'm not pre-gaming this time. But like, you really think that whether or not he does, do you guys don't think there's a file made of you?
Right.
Or whether or not Pook plays the same game he did last time, sneaky, paranoid, and loyal as fuck the second game, won't you have that inclination? Oh, Pook's like, as what Ryan mentioned, the most paranoid person orgs. Or like the third game, hey, Stan's like, you know, he's just gonna be chilling, whatever, and he's gonna building a reputation. The final 2. Reputation precedes himself, and in a small patron group, honestly, I'm predicting the future because it's happened so many times. It's gonna be, and of course, Frank rebuttal.
So, yes, it's a small patron group now, but I'm also looking into the future, and I do think that the gaming community is going to help the page grow. Number
Absolutely.
1. 2, I don't think that Game 7 is going to be boring, even if there are a lot of return players. If you look at the challenge, Bananas just won his 6th game, and I enjoyed watching him win that just the same as I did the first one. I do think the social game, it's going to be different. We are Survivor fans, and we're playing a game that's a lot like Survivor, but it's different. It's its own game. So I do think the social aspect of things is going to be more along the lines of the challenge, where you have a small player pool and people are return players. So I think you're just going to see a different game.
I think the difference between challenge and Survivor is there's no hidden immunity idols that you can. If I was like had an idol and I knew Frank was and everyone was voting for me, and I probably would never do this if he made me do it again. And I had everyone was voting for me, play your idol, whoop, Frank's out. I did all y'all a favor, right? There's no way to do that on the challenge because you're gonna have to put someone in the pool to do an elimination challenge, and that's not how you go out on Survivor. There's no way to save yourself like Bananas just did, but there's absolutely ways to recreate yourself. Didn't he form a secret alliance with one of his rivals at the start of the game?
Yeah, he played with West this season.
Correct,
yeah.
And that was great. Like honestly, like, but for more of everyone's not like Bananas, right? There's gonna be Jay Starretts that's gonna be knocked out super early. Like people that are just new to the podcast, I don't know everybody. Off you go, because Denny and Frank and Corey and Ben all know each other, and it's easier to get them out. You know, like honestly, I am all for growing the podcast or in the group. I think it's great. I'm not the most vocal person outside of this. I don't post much. I just click like sometimes. And put my 2 cents. But I think what we are doing is amazing. And, you know, everybody is here for the right reasons. I love the discussion. I'm all about the page. I think, Ben, people don't get people. I did give you some fun, constructive criticism and some tips from a former host and current host and all some hosting tips. But I think you did from the entire cast and on behalf of everybody. Thank you so much for hosting this mini. I think it brought a lot of people together. It brought people that otherwise wouldn't have known each other, you know, together in a group. And, you know, we all do what we love to do. And it's great. Thank you for that on behalf of all of us.
Oh, yeah. And thank you guys. Yeah, I've made $0 from this. I've actually lost money because I had to upgrade my internet connection and my Zoom subscription to make this all work. But no, it's been fun, and it's in my, you know, just meeting all you guys and being a part of and people being excited about me playing in the next game. Like it's been all worth it for me. Even though like I said, I lost money, but but it was never about the money. Like it was just kind of fun. Like I was on furlough and I saw Sequester. I'm like. And I didn't really know about a ton of ORGs or things like that. And so I was just like, I want to kind of try to just do one to kind of give back and see if there's going to be any interest for this, because I think there might be, because Big Brother's big, Sequester's kind of like Big Brother. I'm like, and I've always liked Survivor too. I think there's some cool aspects to it. I need to watch the challenge from what you and Frank have been saying. That sounds very interesting.
There's another one coming out on Amazon Prime that's produced by Mark Burnett. I don't remember what it's called now. Eco Challenge, maybe Eco something. Yeah, that premieres in like 2 weeks, I think.
Okay, cool. And Big Brother's starting up in a few days, right?
And Frank's birthday.
Yeah.
Frank, should I come over and watch with you?
I have to work.
Wait,
Unless
I thought you were getting out
could maybe
early.
Call my boss and get me off work.
I thought you were gonna get out early.
I thought that would work, but looking back at it, and I have a week of vacation next week, so I probably shouldn't take that day.
I was gonna blindside you, message your wife, and be like, "I'll come for Frank's birthday and surprise him."
Oh man, we can still do that. Just do it the next day.
Well, give you a taste of your own medicine.
Well, thank you. Russell did say he would want to at least meet with the finalists, so I'm sure he'll probably reach out to you guys.
No problem. He's gonna grill me. He texted me like immediately after. He's like, "That you threw away the game. You would have won 100% if you would have taken Frank out. You take out the biggest threat." I'm like, I was so tired. I'm like, I have to explain to do the final tribal, and I went to bed.
It was late.
It's all good. It's all good. I'll take second. I never make it to the end in other games because
I thought you had a strong shot.
Second boot and sequester, my last game. So, I mean, I've seen it all. I've seen it all. Pre-jury, jury, final three, win. Like it's all fun and games. I've never been voted off first. So, but if you guys enjoy this and what you guys saw, there's an entire world of like-minded people that are willing to cut throats, make friendships, form. You'd find your person, there that you would bond with forever, and it's a cool community. Like, I highly recommend you guys trying it out. I'll post the link. I don't know if I've posted the link of the groups that I'm part of, but I'll share it with you guys in the chat. I think to the 4 local, I've given the link too.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. No, thank you, everyone. That's all the questions I got for everybody.
Thank you, Ben.
Cool. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, Ben, so much.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks.
You guys are great. All you guys were great. You guys made the show for sure. Each and every one of you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Nice playing with you guys.
Nice playing with you guys.
You guys.
Corey, I'm coming for you.
Take note of that, specialists. Do your homework. For all the TRHS and survivor specialists that are watching this, do your homework. I'm not saying do whatever, but work with whoever you want, but do your homework.
All right, Frank, I know you love me.